You can grow up in the same neighborhood as another woman, go to the same schools, deal with the same kind of household, and 5 years later, her life looks nothing like yours. She's glowing, she's healthy, she looks settled, she looks like she's actually going somewhere. And you're still in the same place, fighting the same battles. Take a real look at yourself and ask whether your life is actually moving forward or whether you keep ending up back at the same starting line. And before you say, new year, new me, why are you waiting for a calendar to tell you it's time to elevate? Growth doesn't have a season. If you feel moved to change something, change it. Because if the new year is what's motivating you, you'll stay in a cycle and never actually progress. The first thing you notice about a woman who is genuinely changed is how she looks. Her body is different, her skin is clearer, she carries herself like she's at peace. What you're seeing is what consistency looks like on a person after enough time has passed. She cleaned up her eating, got serious about moving her body, and stopped treating sleep like a luxury. She got intentional about who she was letting into her space. She started following through on the small things she said she was going to do, and it stacked up over time. How she talks about herself is different, and what she's willing to tolerate is different as well. You can also feel the exhaustion that comes off of someone who keeps restarting the same goals and never quite get their footing. Some of the hardest working women are stuck in cycles and grinding themselves into the ground trying to get out. Hard work alone is not what gets you out. If you keep ending up in the same place no matter what you do, your nervous system is involved. Your nervous system has one job: keep you safe. And the way it defines safe is familiar. Whatever your normal was growing up, the stress level in the house, the way love was shown or withheld, the chaos, the unpredictability, or even just the silence, your nervous system built itself around all of that and decided that's what survivable looks like. So when you try to move differently, your system gets uncomfortable and starts pulling you back. That's why you set the goal and mean it and then somehow end up right back where you started. You go back to the man you know isn't right for you. You quit going to the gym right when it was finally becoming a habit. You slow down on something that was actually working and you cannot explain why. Your system is doing exactly what it learned to do. If you grew up around scarcity, chaos, or emotional inconsistency, your nervous system learned to stay on guard, to read every room, stay alert, and never get too comfortable because comfortable never lasted. You carry that into adulthood. You move cities, leave the relationship, get the better job, and your system is still running the same way. You still feel like something is about to go wrong even when everything is fine. You still end up in familiar dynamics because familiar, even when it hurts, feels like home. When you start to actually see that pattern in yourself and see it clearly, that's when you can start making different choices. Underneath every pattern you have is a belief. The belief you hold about yourself is running more of your life than any goal you've ever set. Who you think you are determines what you go after, what you accept, what you walk away from, and how long you stay in things that are costing you more than they're giving you. Your brain is constantly looking for evidence of what you already believe. If you believe you're somebody who always ends up back at square one, you will find proof of that everywhere. You keep making choices that confirm it, and most of the time, you don't even realize you're doing it. The women who genuinely change get honest about what they actually believe about themselves. At some point, they stop seeing themselves as someone just getting through and start seeing themselves as someone actually building something. It starts with being honest about what they actually believe, not what they post, not what they say to people, but what they actually think when they're alone and quiet. And that's where you are supposed to start. The cycle looks the same every time. Something happens, a birthday hits different, a breakup, some moment of clarity, and you decide this time is the time. You make the plan, you start, you stay consistent for a few weeks, then life gets heavy, the motivation drops, you fall off, you feel guilty, you tell yourself you always do this, and then you wait for the next moment to try again. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings move. It shows up when you're inspired and disappears when you're stressed, tired, or just had a long week. The women who stay consistent stop relying on how they feel that morning. They make the decision once and build a structure around it. The workout is already scheduled. The savings transfer is already automatic. The therapy appointment is already recurring. The decision is already made. The second thing keeping you stuck is trying to change your whole life at once. New body, new budget, new habits, new mindset, cut people off, start journaling, wake up at 5, all at once, all starting Monday. Then one thing slips and the whole thing feels like a failure. Pick one thing, stay with it until it's just part of how you live, then add the next thing. The third thing is weight you haven't put down. Childhood stuff you never really dealt with. Relationship wounds that are older than you want to admit, the exhaustion of being expected to hold everything together for everyone around you while quietly falling apart. You can be disciplined, consistent, and structured and still end up in the same emotional place if what's underneath hasn't actually been worked through. Your body holds it, your nervous system holds it, and it keeps driving your decisions until you actually address it. Consistent, culturally competent therapy is a part of this. Ongoing, like maintenance. The fourth thing is your environment. The people closest to you set the standard for what's normal, what's possible, and what's worth wanting, and you absorb that. If nobody in your closest circle is really building anything, if ambition gets looked at sideways, if the conversation is always the same, that becomes your normal too. And underneath all of it, a lot of women are carrying a belief they never said out loud, that good things don't last for them, that wanting more is of setting themselves up to get hurt, that the version of life they want is just available to other women. That belief came from somewhere real, and it can still change. The woman who actually glows up is doing ordinary things consistently long enough that it starts to show. She feels the discomfort, she keeps going anyway. Every better version of you requires you to do things the current version of you avoids. Have the conversation you've been putting off. Show up to the appointment you keep rescheduling, and stop going back to the situation that feels comfortable but has you standing still. Stop waiting until you feel ready. Ready comes after you've already done the thing and gotten through it. You apply before you feel qualified. You go before everything is lined up, and then you feel ready because you proved to yourself that you could. You have to get specific about what you actually want. Ask yourself right now, if someone sat you down and said, describe your ideal life in detail, could you actually do it? What does your body feel like? What does your morning look like? What kind of relationship are you in? What is your bank account doing? You cannot build something you haven't clearly defined. Write it down, get specific, then figure out what you need to do today to start moving forward. And if you're investing in yourself before it feels comfortable, like therapy, books, a course, a gym membership, whatever makes sense, do it at your income level. A lot of women were raised to put themselves last and treat their own needs like something that could wait. Deciding that your growth is a priority and actually treating it like one is a different way of moving through the world. How you feel in your body affects everything else. How clearly you think, how emotionally regulated you stay, how much energy you actually have to show up for what you're building. A lot of women are walking around in bodies showing the cost of chronic stress, inconsistent care, and years of putting everyone else first. Sleep is the foundation. Most women need between 7 and 9 hours. When you're consistently running on less, your decision making is off and your emotional regulation suffers, and your body starts showing it. Chronic stress is a medical issue. When cortisol stays elevated, it affects your weight, your hormones, your gut, your heart, and how your body handles inflammation. What you eat gives your body information. Blood sugar instability affects your mood and your focus directly. Chronic inflammation from poor diet, sleep deprivation, and ongoing stress. It's connected to depression, fatigue, and brain fog. Get your blood work done. Full thyroid panel, full iron panel, including ferritin, specifically vitamin D, B12, and hormones if your cycle is telling you that something is a little off. Exhaustion, hair loss, weight changes, brain fog. Your body is communicating. Know your numbers, speak up at your appointments, and get a second opinion when something feels off. Your relationships show you exactly where you are every single time. You leave one situation and find yourself in something that feels almost identical. It's a different person, but it's the same dynamic, same emotional experience, and the same ending. Your nervous system is drawn to familiar. Whatever felt normal early in your life, love that came with conditions, someone who ran hot and cold, having to shrink yourself to keep the peace, your system learned to call that home. So you keep choosing it in different packaging. What you believe about yourself shows up in every relationship, whether you abandon what you actually need to keep somebody comfortable, whether you stay long past the point you already knew it was over, whether you accept treatment from someone that you would tell your best friend to walk away from. All of that traces back to what you believe you deserve. When you do the real work on that belief, your choices do change. You start to feel the difference between something real and something that just feels familiar. You stop ignoring what you already know. Your friendships carry the same weight. Whatever is normal in your closest friendships becomes your normal. How you talk about yourselves, what you think is achievable, whether growth gets celebrated in your circle or quietly creates distance, you're absorbing all of that. Money is also a part of this conversation. Money comes in, money goes out, the debt stays at roughly the same number, saving starts and stops, and you keep telling yourself you'll get serious about it once you're making more. Underneath those habits are beliefs that formed a long time ago. Money was tight, money caused conflict, wanting a lot felt like asking for too much. You absorbed a story about what money means and what kind of woman gets to have it. And that story is running your finances right now. When you get honest about it, things do shift. You learn how money actually works, you make a budget and follow it imperfectly. You open the investment account before the balance feels significant. You start the emergency fund at whatever you can manage right now. You ask for the raise, you negotiate, you go for the role that feels slightly outside your comfort zone. You show up in rooms where money and opportunity are decided. To change your life, you have to grieve first. Grieve the childhood you deserved, the relationships that took more than they gave, the years spent just getting through and what that cost you, the time, the energy, the parts of yourself you had to put away just to survive. Grieve the version of yourself who believed she wasn't enough. She kept you moving when things were hard. You hold the boundary when folding would have been easier. You rest when you used to push through until you broke down. You put yourself first when everything in you says to wait your turn. One choice at a time. Some days feel clear, some days you slip right back into something older and catch yourself mid-pattern. Notice it, but then make sure you come back. Find a therapist. Please find a therapist and stay consistent with it. Community mental health centers and sliding scale providers are real options if cost is a barrier. Read things that challenge how you see yourself in the world. History, memoir, sociology, neuroscience written for regular people. The more you understand how you were shaped, the more say you get over who you become. Start your morning before your phone does. 20 minutes of quiet and some movement before the day starts. Wind down the same way at night. Simple and consistent. Do the work before you post about it. The appointment you kept when you wanted to cancel, the boundary you held, the sleep you chose, those are the choices that actually move you forward. What happened to you is real, what you've been carrying is real, and you're still the one who decides what you do from here. The change you want to see in your life starts with the change you're willing to make in yourself. So keep that in mind whenever you feel like you're stagnant and when you're looking at what the next person has going on. Really take a deep dive and do that inner work. If this video resonates with you, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you feel like you are in a standstill in your life. Let me know if you're feeling like you have some forward movement. And if you do feel like you're at a standstill, what do you think is your hurdles? What's blocking you? What's your obstacles? Thank you for watching and take care.